Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. How's it going? Chilling? Are you guys chilling? Tell me you're chilling. Tell me. How are you all? It's been a while. It's not been that while. Wait, has it been a while? Yeah, no, we streamed on Wednesday, didn't we? The days tend to merge into one these days. Oh, good afternoon, good afternoon. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. We are live once again. We are back with another Warhipster stream. If this is your first time here, hi. Hit the subscribe button, then you can chat. How's it going? Ugh. I had a weekend. A weekend of awesomeness. So I'm not going to bury the lead. We're going to start off we're going to start off with the big news of the weekend. The big news of the weekend. The big news of the weekend is that Joe got second best overall. So everyone needs to congratulate Joe. If you watched Liam Dempsey, tomorrow I'm sure Joe will be on camera. You should all go and congratulate him for getting second best overall, because he's an absolute legend, and he got second best overall, and I'm absolutely chuffed for him, because he he brought his Cities of Sigmar list, and he had 2 test games on the Friday night, and neither of them went particularly well, and he was genuinely contemplating driving home to get his Soulblight Gravelords. And then he went and won 3 games and got 4 favourite game votes and a couple of favourite army votes, and as a consequence of it all came second overall. So a massive, massive achievement to Mr. Joe Coles. So yes, everybody go and congratulate him, because it's a legendary performance from the man. His first ever Age of Sigmar, like big Age of Sigmar event as well, so well done to him. And then I shall say hello to everybody else, and I'll tell you what I got up to at the weekend. So, hello to the Colonel of the 149th Death Corps of Krieg, Fake Street Spirit, there are some who call me Tim, hello, the Tattooed Zoologist, Millie Paints, hello, Jaffe Barra, Pip2 number 42, Zangerous, Aidan Hughes, hello, Josh's Stick Together, best name ever, Daz456, hello, Mark Watson, Painting Outlaw Studios, hello, Yun, Yune, hello, Simon74, Lisu3000, hello, and then there are some who call him Tim, with the $50. What have you been painting, Mr. Joshman? Absolutely nothing. I haven't painted anything. I've been away. For 3 days. I can't paint and be away at the same time. Today, though, we might be doing, if we can get to it, we might do a little bit of this guy, the Null Chemist, or Null Chemist, for the new Caradron Overlords. So this video will come out this week. Hopefully, we can get it done. We're basically at the stage where we've got to cover it in a lot of metallic, so we may be doing a little bit of that today. But thank you very much for the $50. That's amazing. Thank you so much. It's a huge super chat right out the gate. Incredible scenes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Hello, Artistic Outlaw. Hello, James. Jaffe Barra with the $4.99 was an awesome tournament. It was great meeting you guys. I might already be working on a new list for my Stormcast. That's my guy right there. I'm already working on a new list for my Stormcast, but more on that later. What a lad. If only he could play that well on stream. I think that tells you that Joe is actually exceptional at tabletop war games. He's also very, very good at not putting out that talent every week to make it an entertaining stream. It's a good lad, Joe. It's good stuff. What else we got in chat here? Hey man, sorry can't stick around, but it was nice meeting you unexpectedly. Sorry for interrupting your game and the awkward misunderstanding. Hope it went well. I know, I'm sorry we didn't get to have a chat, Paul. it took me like 15 seconds. I had delay brain. I just had to take myself out of the game for the moment. It's a shame we couldn't have a chat. Maybe next time. Maybe I'll catch you at a tabletop tactics event or a different one of at Warhammer World. But yes, it was lovely to meet you very, very briefly, buddy. I now know what you look like, so I'll be able to spot you in a crowd. Hell yes, the best streamer, Warhipster. Well, that's very, very kind of you, King Lupus. That's very, very cool. Thank you. Look what the cat dragged in. Has it cooled down in there now, Josh, or is it still hot? No, it's still very hot. We'll probably make it through somehow. So, Paul is bad at stuff like a stick figure, I assume. He'd be easy to find. Oddly, because he's really small. He's this big as a stick figure, because he only occupies less than a 1080p screen. It's very difficult to spot that, you know. It's a corner of the 1920 1080p screen, you know. So it is what it is. Yeah. So I was at the Golden Ticket Grand Tournament in Warhammer World this weekend, and it was my first hyper competitive Age of Sigmar event I've been to since first edition. It's been 8 or 9 years since I last went to one at that level, 2,000 points, and my goodness me, the standard was incredible. I had an absolute fantastic time, I will say. I had 5 excellent games against 5 excellent opponents, as you would expect. And I really, really enjoyed it. Now, my list. Well, firstly, I'll tell you guys, I won 2 of my games and I lost 3 of my games. I got a nomination for Best Painted Army, so my army went in the cabinet, so that was wonderful. I got 3 favourite army votes from my opponents, so thank you to whoever voted for those. And 2 favourite game votes from my opponents as well, so thank you to those as well. So I think I came 22nd out of 60 for in terms of my final placing. So it was cool. Top half of the tournament, can't say better than that, so that's nice. Now with my games and my list, I'm sure all of you AOS competitive diehards out there are wondering, how did the list get on? I think the list was very, very strong, and I had a terrible tournament seed. That was unfortunate, I think is how I would sum it up. I think I had an army that would have been very, very good if I had been able to fight anything that contained any sort of form of large amounts of infantry. Where I was able to kind of dictate the pace of the game. Unfortunately, what I ran into more often than not was my first game was against Sylvaneth, and it was all monsters Sylvaneth with 5 True Revenants in there. It was lovely, lovely army. It was really mean because the way it was castled up, it was just like every failed save was massively impactful to my army because it's damage 5, so it's like it just hurt. Which was fun, but it was quite taxing the first game. And then my second game was against an absolute abomination of a Nighthaunt army. 2 of the new Scourge of Gyron Black Coaches and 32 Mirmorn Banshees, and a couple of characters who were kind of just there to throw out some extra debuffs, which was just hardcore, man. It was really, really rough. Really rough army for me to do anything against. And the gentleman I played had just an absolutely fantastic, amazing luck. It's the way it goes. The way it goes sometimes with the way the dice roll, because it is a dice game. If your opponent can somehow avoid rolling less than a 4 in a Nighthaunt army, you're just not going to do anything to them. So yeah, it was hard work, that one. That one I lost spectacularly. Then my third game on the Saturday was against a gentleman called Terry, who had quite possibly the most beautiful Maggotkin of Nurgle army I've ever seen in my entire life. And you can go and check his stuff out. It's I will look him up on Instagram now. I do have it. Just make sure I get this right. It was Pike's Miniature Painting, Terry Pike. If you go and check out his, I'm just gonna IP steal from him for the moment. If I just do this, this is the kind of standard of hobby that was going on here. You see, so this is Terry's, sort of Maggotkin of Nurgle. It's just absolutely flawless painting, left, right, and centre. I mean, look at this. It's all custom work on the banners and stuff. Yeah, just beautiful, beautiful army to play against. But also, you know, that one contained Rotigus and a Great Unclean One. So again, just really hard work for my army to have to handle with all the big monsters. Yeah, I did win that one, but it's a fantastic game. He's a really nice guy, so I encourage you all to go and check out Terry on Instagram and check out his work. It's really, really good, really good stuff. And then Sunday, played against Maggotkin of Nurgle again in the morning, but this was a much different version of things, but still contained Rotigus and had exploding Putrid Blight Kings, and my army just folded like paper. It was bad. I didn't do very well at all in that game. And then finally, my final game was against a gentleman who had, I think it was 6 Magma Droths. So again, my army just goes, oh, there's nothing we can do here. Cool, let's go. So I think I had a really bad seed, unfortunately. But I will say that if you are into competitive tabletop wargaming, then Age of Sigmar, this event that I just went to, the standard of competitive that was going on and the games themselves were all really competitive. So there was no tabling in turn 3. There's none of that going on. There was still a chance in all of my games up until turn 4, sometimes turn 5. And as a consequence of that, it made it a very cerebrally taxing tournament, but at the same time, a very enriching, very fun, very, very engaging tournament. It was fantastic, honestly. And I think if you're into competitive tabletop wargaming, based on my experience of the many 40k tournaments I've been to versus the one in the last 10 years or 9 years of Age of Sigmar, I would wholeheartedly recommend that you absolutely should attend if you're into it, you should go and attend a competitive Age of Sigmar event, because it's really, really worthwhile and it's so much fun. Just to play complicated games. It's really hard on your brain, especially because you don't have much money because of the heat, you end up booking a room in a student accommodation for an overnight stay. And when you do that, there's no airflow. And when you try and sleep in a room that feels like it's about 50 degrees, and your brain gets cooked. Like, I feel like all of the liquid in my brain was dried out. It was awful. Like, the room itself was fine, but I had a terrible time in my accommodation. I've had such an awful weekend when it comes to that. It was dreadful. It was so muggy in Nottingham this weekend. Honestly, it was disgusting. It was worse than anything I'd experienced down here. My hotel room's aircon was broken. Ugh. Yuck. Did you shout only the faithful? I did not. No, it's not that kind of tournament. I nearly did against my opponent on day 2, Maggotkin opponent, because he said, I must kill Taunus. He is a traitor. And I was like, oh, somebody who understands the law. Let's talk about it. So we did for a bit. Mr. Drafterpants, Josh, would you attend an MESBG tournament? What army would you play? I would love to attend an MESBG tournament. I'd need to do a lot of reps before that. To understand how the game works. because it's been a long time since I've played it. But I would love to go, and if I was, I would take the Rohirrim. Hello, Dan. So Dan was part of Joe, Richie, myself, and Joe and Dan. We're attending as a group. Hello, Dan. Great weekend, bro. Nice hanging out with you. Lovely hanging out with you as well. So appreciate you taking all the Nurgle bullets. Yes. Yes, I took the Nurgle bullets so my companions could not. Hello, the Batman. How are you doing? I've been going to AOS events for a couple of years now. Was exclusively 40k for a long while, and I still enjoy playing that game just fine. But AOS supplies a much more awesome tournament experience, in my opinion. I wholeheartedly agree. I honestly, guys, if you've ever been on the fence about it, if one of the things that you really like is going to tournaments, and you've never been sure about AOS because you don't know what an AOS tournament would be like, I think you will enjoy those a lot more than you will a 40k tournament. Because I feel like even though I had 5 bad matchups, and I think what I would say is because I had 5 bad matchups, my games were harder but more enriching as an experience. I think in 40k, if you have a bad matchup, it's because you come up against something that will table you in about 45 minutes. And I've had that happen to me. And it's because it was a bad matchup. For example, in 9th edition, I had my 8th edition demons versus the Hotness Admech. It was a horrible game because there's nothing I could do about it. I scored maybe 10 points. Above 10 points for being painted. And that was it. I was done. I was done after 35 minutes. And I've never experienced that in Age of Sigmar. Obviously, it will happen. On occasion, just when the dice just go entirely against you, but I think honestly, as an experience, going to an AOS competitive tournament has been so much more enlightening and enriching in terms of the game of tabletop, competitive tabletop. I will clarify that, because casual tabletop, I still think there's a lot of fun to be had doing a 40k casual event, and well, both, they're just casual events, but a competitive event at AOS. Honestly, I think it was the best tournament I've ever been to in that regard. Dan, if you're still here, tell the people about how you got on, whilst I look at the rest of the chat. Did you get a quality pint of mild up there? Huh? You have failed the God King. I did. Well, I only won 2 of my games. That's a shame. Rohan for the W. Yeah, exactly. Iron within or iron without? I am iron without at the moment, but typically I'm iron within. Let me go and see if Perturabo's in stock, shall we? I looked at Warhammer World. They didn't have Perturabo in stock. Perturabo. Oh God, I can't spell. Nope, Perturabo is out of stock. I'm afraid. Popped in for MESBG talk. I picked up a full Eagles team. 700 points of burbs. Nice. Nice. Did alright. 3 wins, 2 losses, 4 favourite player and 1 favourite army vote. Also had some bad matchups for my Iron Jaws, but I really enjoyed every game. Yeah, that's it. I think I planned way too much to be taking on elite infantry. I still think the Star Drake is the right choice if you come up against non-monster mash lists every time. But the Star Drake is basically useless when you're faced with 6 Magma Droth. It just doesn't do very much. I mean, it can kill one, but it only kills one if the Magma Droth doesn't roll any saves and doesn't roll any feel no pains, you know. What the Star Drake is excellent at is dealing with, you know, Putrid Blight Kings and stuff like that. Because, you know, you just gobble, 3 of them gone. or cavalry. 5 wounds, roll 5s or 6s, and they just gobble, they're gone. And the Star Drake did put work in for me this weekend. It's just when I was then facing when I was facing the Magma Dross, I was like, oh, I've got a 480 point model here that's not doing very much, which was a bit of a shame. I play do or die in all my games. Maybe not the best idea. Yeah, see what you mean. My only regret was not winning the overall favourite player vote. 1 shy of 5. Now I find myself wondering which of my opponents I wronged. I will continue to work on myself. I assume because I got 2 favourite game votes that either the 2 favourite game votes were for the 2 people that I played on Sunday, and it's because it was the only game they could remember, or it was the 2 on day 1. I have no idea. If I would be exactly the same though, Dan. If I got 4 and 1 person did it, I'd be like, who did I mistreat? I have done a bit of cooking today. In terms of what we could what list would I take differently? And you just start from the super competitive list that you sort of bandied about on Stormcast, and it would be, of course, to take Vanguard Paladors and Vanguard Raptors and just be like everybody else. But I think the one change that would have changed my fate considerably is if I had not taken the Black Talons and I'd put Yndrasta instead, because then all those monsters would have feared me. But obviously that then changes the seed, doesn't it? Because, yeah, you might win a game that you don't, and therefore you don't play the other 2. So, who knows? But anyway, what did you guys get up to this weekend? How are you doing? Clearly that one guy whom you crushed mercilessly beneath the war. Yeah, did you beat anyone 80-0, Dan? Oh, my browser crashed. Quick, say things. Is the stream still live? Yeah, it looks like it is. Oh. Right. Well. This weekend I finished 4 of 10 Death Riders. I hate them. I practiced my Eagles list getting ready for the New England MESBG Team Championships. Nice. Did the Eagles do well? I'm led to believe that Eagles are very good. There are some who call me Tim will tell us differently, but or you will tell us differently. But I'm led to believe that Eagles do very, very, very well at MESPG. Hi Josh, I need your help. I'm painting the new spearhead terrain sand and bone. I'm struggling with the right colour for the sarcophagus bluish material. All right, let's look it up, shall we? Here we go. Sand and bone. I need to paint mine. I do have it. I just haven't done it yet. The bluish for the carapace. Where am I looking? I ain't seeing no blue. Sarcophagus bluish material. Oh, the one with the the cauldron of blood on it. So I have a suggestion, Asmodeus. And I think, if I'm correct, Yeah, I think this is it. Boom. Barrow Guard. If you look at the shields, I suspect that's the colour you're after to do those. It's kind of a green to my eye. What are your thoughts on the reveals? We can have a look at those in a minute. Bought the Git Mob set, box set, assembled it, then played some Spearhead with it. Nice, dangerous. Spent the weekend working on Prince Imrahil. He's looking pretty awesome. It's a very awesome, awesome video. I love that model. When are the Caradron Overlords vids coming out? This week. Eagles are good if you win priority and roll 6s to fight. They die really fast if you roll badly. Ooh. Going to bounce for now. We'll watch back the stream later. Just wanted to come and say cheers for a solid weekend, mate. Looking forward to the next one. No, thank you, Dan. Thank you for being such a cool dude. It was lovely to hang out with you and meet you for the first time. No, thank you. It was great. Super tempted to try and fit in some Annihilators with Grand Hammers for that extra punch in the big monsters. So this is my thing, Jaffe. I think I think there's a lot of tech that you can have to deal with specific things like big monsters, but I still think the best thing that does it is Yndrasta, because I think in certain numbers, in order to do enough damage so that the thing that comes back at you isn't horrible, I still think Yndrasta is probably the best thing to do it because of the double damage. You know, if all things go well, you can do 20 damage to a monster, which kills majority of them. Obviously, and that's just on top of the rest of your army. I think there's a tech piece to be done where you take Yndrasta and you add maybe some Vigilors to the army to do a damage to it to give her +1 to hit against them. I think there's possibly some tech in doing that, but I think maybe the Vigilors are a little bit of an extra 140 points that you don't need to possibly spend. Because I think there was a lot of instances where my prosecutors were doing decent damage output in the shooting phase, and if I'd just gone in with Yndrasta to finish off something like Rotigus or a Magma Droth or 2 Magma Droths or something, it would have just swung the game entirely. So I feel like 310 points is a lot to put on one model, but she is a very powerful model. And what she's very good at doing is adding control score to things like prosecutors and stuff. So yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. I forgot I had Sand and Bone. Must get that done. Yeah, I'm the same. I need to get it done. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm still geeking out for the new Votan reveals. Okay, yeah, we'll go and have a look at all the reveals together if you like in a minute. Is there a date for Tales? I'm sorry if it's been mentioned earlier. I was on a work call. It hasn't been mentioned yet. I'm gonna ask the Discord later if you guys fancy a month off. And the reason why I'm suggesting that is if we do the month that we've so far missed because of the delays, if we do that when we're supposed to do July's thing and do July when August, we basically shunt everything back a bit. Rather than me do it. It's that, or I do it by myself on Wednesday and I do it for 2 hours and then I do it again next week. It's one of the two things, I think. Because I don't want to do 2 5-hour Sunday night streams in a row, basically, and I think that's where it's headed at the moment. So I'm gonna ask the Discord later, but do give me your thoughts on how it is you'd like to proceed. Basically, we could basically just have a mid-season break, as it were. Good evening, Liam. I really wish I liked the 40k AOS style games because those Hellsmiths look amazing. I just hate sitting there for 30 minutes pulling models off the board waiting to do something. So that's why I think you which month would be off? Technically August, James. So basically it's a case of you've all submitted for June and you've all submitted for July. If we do June when July is supposed to be and July when August is supposed to be, you would basically have August off, which would mean that we would start again in September, basically. It's basically a case of that the streams just go back a month. if you see what I mean. I need to word it better. But that's kind of where my vibe, where my thinking is at. How would you paint bright clothes for an Empire army? With paint. Depends what colour. I would use contrast paints over primer. It sounds like I'm being facetious, but I need a bit more. But what I was saying, Ryan, was I think you would enjoy I think you'd enjoy AOS more because you can interact in every phase of your opponent's turn. You can redeploy, you can countershoot, you can do you can countercharge, you can power through, you can do all these kinds of things. There's a lot more that goes on, I think, in Age of Sigmar now, where you are. I was always thinking about what I could possibly do during the game. It's really, really interesting because yeah, in 40k you do just kind of just sit there and let your opponent do stuff to you for for 40 minutes. Especially given as in 40k so much of those games is about long range weaponry, right? So they're just doing stuff to you from afar and they've not really moved or anything. It's just you rolling saves for a long time. I think in AOS that doesn't happen so much. It's a lot more about movement and positioning, and there's a bit of shooting, but it's a lot more about movement and positioning and knowing when to time your charges and how to react to what your opponent's doing and this, that, and the other. Very cerebral game. Very, very cerebral game. Very, very cool. Orange would be the colour. Sorry, I would use Gryph-hound Orange. There you go, Alfredo. If you wanted to be a little bit more fiery, you could use Magmadroth Flame and you could shade it a little bit. But honestly, I'd use Gryph-hound Orange. Over Wraithbone, so it's bright. Good evening, Chris. Hello, Captain Manners. You never need to do the stream alone. Yeah, no, I know, James. It's just, it's kind of like, it's so, everything's been so up in the air. And I know you're always on standby. It's a case of, it's all my fault, right? Because, well, it's not my fault. It's global climate crisis's fault. But I just haven't been able to get around to getting it all done. And because I don't know how it's going at the moment, I don't know if Wednesday's going to work. So I don't want to engage you for Wednesday and be like, yeah, it's going to be at 8:30 p.m. We're going to go late. Because we do it on Wednesday, we do it later at my usual stream time rather than earlier on Sunday. It's a case of it'll go on quite late for me, and I think it's a slightly awkward time for you in the States, isn't it? At 8:30, it's about it's about 2:30 in the afternoon, something like that, or 3:30, something like that. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out a way to get Tales in, given as we've had so many delays and problems and issues with this episode in particular, and I don't, like I said, I don't want to do it on the 28th, which is what it would be now, because then we're doing it again a week later, and it's just a monumental amount of work in a 2-week space. But yeah, I will figure it out. And I can only apologise to all of Tales. It's just, you know, it has been factors that have been out of my control at times, which has been a shame. I'm sorry. Good evening, Blethen. Exclamation mark, blame Josh. Yeah, I should really do something with Nightbot, shouldn't I? I just don't understand how it works. Do you have a good vibrant yellow recipe like you have for red? Bile red, then glazed with blood angels. Yes. Imperial Fist, then glazed with the Yandon yellow. Oh, thank you so much to everybody who's already liked the stream. We're on 42 likes. Can we get to 50? We're 8 away. There's 75 of you watching. Josh, help me, please. Do I go Cruel Boys or Seraphon? I think you should do whatever your heart tells you. Why not both? I think Seraphon... I think Cruel Boys already have a book, so you know that you're not gonna lose anything for now, and you're not going to gain much. So you already know what you're doing with Cruel Boys because you already have the Auric War Clans Battletome. The Seraphon are going to get a book, and we don't know if they're going to get a bunch of new stuff that might cause a hobby butterfly effect, as it were. So I think Seraphon are really fun to paint because of all of the recesses and all that kind of stuff. There's lots and lots of very nice textured detail all over, which is very, very cool. They're a good time out to paint. So if it's a painter's journey you want to go on, I would suggest painting some Seraphon because they're fun. Cruel Boys can be fun. There's a lot of brown and green. It's not the end of the world if you like brown and green, but there's a lot of brown and green. So yeah, I would recommend Seraphon. I think you'll have more fun painting those. Go Cruel. Go Cruel. Evening, Josh. What's on the agenda tonight? Well, we're talking about the AOS Grand Tournament, but we might do a little bit of work on the Null Chemist very shortly. It's basically a case of I have to apply a lot of gold to a model. Not too bad. Hope you're doing well. Finally getting the details through for the redundancy. Yeah, how is that going, Captain Mannerings? Are you okay? Are you okay? Hello, Swarm. Lovely to see you too. How did you build the new Caradron 5 unit? I built them as Von Grimm Harpoon Crew. That's how I did them. Because I like the name. The Harpoon Crew. I also like the big trident. That was nice. Just started my High Elf collection due to it being my birthday yesterday. Got a lot of models. Congratulations, Blethen. Happy birthday. How was your tournament? My tournament was very nice, thank you. It means, it sucks, but I'm embracing the suck, and there is light at the end of all of this. That's a strong attitude. It's a strong attitude to have towards it. I fully endorse that attitude. I've been through redundancy many times myself. Never enjoyed it. It's always hard. I went through it 4 times at Sky. So, I fully sympathise. Did you make any children cry at the tournament? No, they all made me cry. Did the magnets work out? The magnets did work. Yes. The magnets did work. I thought it's not really a full use case because Joe drove me everywhere because I'm precious. I'm a precious boy. But the magnets did work. They were good. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Yeah. No damages as far as I'm aware. Let's do a quick thing on this, shall we? Whilst we're talking. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take a lot of Retributor armor, and we're going to apply this over pretty much everywhere because we can re-layer on the other metallics when we get there. But it is mostly gold and brighter gold. So there's just a lot of that to go. So we'll get this on. And then once that's done, we'll come back and we'll start applying some alternate metallics. There we go. This is a lot of gold. So I'll use this gold that I've thinned down to do some, and then we'll go and look at the reveals together, shall we? What did all of you think of all of the reveals? I'm so out of the loop. I have no idea if you all hate them, if you all like them. I have some opinions. You can probably all guess what they are. But do you finish the All Armies of Cathay? No, I haven't got back to them. I am about 5 weeks behind on my to-do list. And it fills me with anxiety and dread and sadness every time I think about it. So thank you for reminding me. I was stunned by the amount of 40k, but then kind of not. Well, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it, Captain Mannerings? They'll be like, it's 10 years of Age of Sigmar. Check out all this at 40k. They always do it. Like, nobody cares about Age of Sigmar, because I don't. And it's like, well, lots of us do. I just had a really nice time at an Age of Sigmar Grand Tournament, I'll have you know, Warhammer community. Is the weather allowing you to get back on track? Not really. Well, I don't know yet. We'll have to see how this week goes. This week I need to paint the Zontari Endrin dock and this guy. And then that means that we're not 6 weeks behind, like Texas Wargaming said there. And then we'll see if we can get back to doing some other stuff. Because I would like to go back and revisit the Cathay, because I've got it all to do. I just need everybody in chat, and everybody who's not in chat but watches this later as an on-demand piece. And everybody who doesn't see this but should know telepathically what I require from them. I just need everybody to watch all the videos at the moment. You know? Please watch my videos. Please don't force me back into a corporate structure where I have to work for someone else to pay the bills. Because then I can't make any videos. Do we need to comment bomb videos? When there's a new video out, if you guys all comment on it on the first 24 hours, that's big. Because that means there's lots of engagement. And YouTube loves engagement. On the older videos, YouTube just assumes that for some reason it's just suddenly got some popularity for no reason. But it won't push it as much. So for example, on Tuesday, when the Von Grimm Harpoon Crew video comes out, if everyone can go and watch it and say, wow, Dwardin, or something to that effect, that would be really nice. Because YouTube's like, everyone's talking about the Von Grimm Harpoon Crew. That means many people must want to watch this video. Even if they don't. You know? Such is the plight of the YouTuber. YouTube is one step away from professional begging. Well, it is professional begging. Oh yeah, that went reasonably far. How did you do the purple on the Alchemist? I used Barak-Nar Burgundy. Right, let's go and look at some reveals, shall we? That's what you guys want to see. Is me have thoughts. Warhammer community. He's not all that will be available in store. You can get a coin as well. Ooh, a coin. Okay. Studio mode. Where are you? There you are. Beep, 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 beep. You want that. Pow. Here we are then. Let's just do this in order of this. Find out more. Wow. Okay. So this is the new kill team thing. The Death Watch look great. I like them. Very space marines. Cool. Is what it is. I like that there's mixed armor marks in here. So we've got some Phobos, we've got some Gravis, we've got some sort of usual Mark 10. Is it Tacticus? Is that what it is? I think these are perfectly fine. It'd be interesting to see if the upgrade pauldron has changed. It looks like it has, because there's a Gravis one there, so there's a cutout there. So that's cool. That would lead me to believe that there is an upgrade pauldron maybe coming for Deathwatch, which will let you do like Blade Guard and stuff. But obviously, you know, take that with a pinch of salt. Who knows? Because that is going to be a Phobos shoulder, I suspect. That is a standard tactical shoulder, and this one is a Phobos shoulder as well. So it looks to me like there is going to be a change in the shoulders, so that's very, very interesting. That's very, very cool. I like that. I like that things like the Xenophase blade is staying. I love that the Double Thunder Hammer is in, and I'm a big fan of the shield. I wish it had been upgraded a little bit more for Primaris size, but there we go. My favourite thing though is the Infernus Heavy Bolter. That's back, and that's great. The Frag Cannon is also here as well. So I think this is just a really nice set. It's interesting. It's very cool that they've done it, but we shall see what happens in the future for Deathwatch. Necrons, fine. They look like Necrons. You know, it's an extension of the Plasmancer's little thing. Some of this stuff. So, you know, cool. Is what it is. I like that they've gone for it's non what's it called? Zarakan as well. So there is a difference here. These are kind of more classic with the silver and green, which is nice. So I hopefully get to paint these. We shall see. I will do them if they send it to me. And then there's a bunch of terrain as well, which looks cool. It's a nice kind of difference to the other boarding actions things. Don't know how well that will interact with other boarding actions terrain you might have. I would suspect probably not, given that you've got the kind of sarcophagus things that make up the ends and things. So you'll have to see. I don't know if it slots into the rest of your boarding actions terrain, but we shall see. There you go. That's Kill Team. Titus's helmet. Cool. It's a helmet. It's a helmet, you helmet. It's like 150 quid. You can order it now, I believe. So it's a lot to spend on a helmet. But there you go. You can own a helmet. Officially. Right. I suspect the thing that you all really want to hear me talk about is the Space Marines, right? Because, you know, as much as you kind of want to hear me say that the Hellsmiths of Hashut look great, and they do, really what you want to do is berate me for not thinking that these are the best things that have ever happened to Warhammer ever. And I think they're fine. I like the new posing for Vulcan. He looks nice. But he is a redesign, so he's not Adrax Agatone, so I think the model is less exciting than Adrax Agatone was, but it's still cool, you know, is what it is. You're no longer going to have a Finecast version of this. And remember, we already have Contrast Plus How to Paint Vulcan Histan, so that's a 5th time that we've been burned by that, so that's nice. Darnath Lysander, he's a Terminator. Cool. Not a new character like Torgaradon, who wasn't really a new character, but he was a model that got. He was a character that got a model, having been featured in a couple of books, and that was exciting. This is, to me, less exciting because it's a redesign of a model. But it's a guy in Terminator armor with a shield that's very pretty and a very pretty hammer. So those two models, very pretty, very fine. Not particularly exciting in terms of them being something new that we can learn more stories about, but there we go. Now, this is absolutely incredible. I've never heard of who Ethon Shan is before. The reason I like it so much, never heard of him before. He's not based on any artwork as far as I can see. He's not a redesign, and therefore you get an absolutely incredible brand new model that looks absolutely fan-bloody-tastic. I think it's exceptional. I really do. I think this one is truly fantastic. I cannot wait to get my hands on this one because I think there's a lot of cool stuff going on here. I really like the color palette and the way they've painted it. Love the feathers. Love all the stuff. I think it's great. Really, really, really pretty model. I think he's fine. He's more interesting to me because I've never heard of him, but he's fairly standard man with big weapon. You know, it's perfectly cool. I do like the little holographic servo skull here, who looks to be projecting some sort of schematic for a building of some kind. I think that's a very, very cool little touch for the model. So he's nice. I do like... There's a couple of instances on this that is fine. I just feel like his legs are too far apart and he's holding his weapon too far away. So it's all very... You know, he's aura farming, that's for sure. That's what he's doing. So, you know, it's perfectly fine. This, I think, is an absolute work of art. And it makes me laugh that Corsair Khan never got a bike. But Subaden Khan looks amazing. I think this is... exactly what you want from a White Scars character. I think it's spectacular. I cannot wait to get my hands on this one because it's just gorgeous. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. It's beautiful. I think it's the best one. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful model. Combat patrols. The Salamanders one is pretty good. Don't know why the Assault Intercessors are in there, but they are. I think the Imperial Fists one is fantastic. I love it. I particularly like the white cloak on the Ancient. I think that's really cool. I love the way that they've painted that. I think the Raven Guard one is good. It looks very cool. And I think the Iron Hands one is rubbish. There's not even a Dreadnought in there. I don't think this is very good. But it's nice if you want a bunch of heavy intercessors, I guess. And I don't think this one's very good either. It's a bit... I mean, it's a White Scars combat patrol. It definitely identifies as that, you know. But I think it's... Yeah, I think it's... Yeah. It's the same thing of, like, if you were to buy one of all 4 of these... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you were to buy all 5 of these, and you just took him out, Adrax Agatone, what you have is an exceptionally good core of a very good Space Marine army. I think as a set they're very cool, but I'm not buying 5 combat patrols worth of Space Marines, that's for sure. So we'll have to see what happens. I'm excited to paint, if indeed Games Workshop sends them to me. I'm excited to paint him. He'll be fun a little bit, I guess. He'll be really fun to paint. I enjoy painting yellow, so that's always nice. And Salamander's Vulcanistan, I will paint him if they send him to me, because I like the model. I just, you know, like I said, it's a redesign, so I don't think it's as exciting as the others that we've never seen before. Where have we got to? The Scouring. It's the biggest, it's the worst kept secret. But we got to keep that Horus Heresy train running. So there you go. I'm sure that'll be exciting for Black Library fans. Be interesting to see what comes out of there. I think the majority of information that is around is generated by AI. And on Lexicanum, for example. So this is going to fill in some gaps, which is interesting. We'll have to see if this is as impactful as, say, Horus Rising. I don't know if it will be, but we shall have to see. But yeah. The Scouring is an epic saga following 3 key perspectives as it examines the fate of the survivors of the Horus Heresy, the Loyalists, the traitors, and the rest of humanity. What happened to the Emperor? What's next for the Imperium? And can control be wrested back from the Primarchs? So yeah. I suspect this is the beginning of another 55 books, so we'll have to see. Age of Darkness. Let's see what's coming out. I didn't actually look at this. Assault Squad. I mean, they're intensely armoured, aren't they? They would make wonderful Vanguard veterans if they were still a thing, really. Yeah, they're perfectly nice. Oh, and there's some more of these. Did you know that the Saturnine components each take roughly 50 components to build each? Did you know that? Legions Imperialis. Mastodon Super Heavy Assault Transports. Whirlwind and Scorpius Missile Tank Squadrons. Vindicators. Cerberus Heavy Tank Destroyer Squadrons. Typhon Heavy Siege Tank Destroyers Squadrons. And more. Looks like there's a fair chunk coming for that. This is the tanks they were talking about. I really have to start booking this live stream time so people can't call me. It's alright, you don't have to change your life to come and watch me. You can dip in and out. It's what we do, you know. We have... I actually haven't seen this yet. Kurnoth's Heralds. They're very pretty. I like that. Oh, they look lovely. Is this a new book? Is this a new box? Yes. Spitewood, the expansion set. Okay, so this is the one that has more of these guys in it, doesn't it? Yeah, there we go. These are pretty. I mean, I guess we could go into detail on these, but I'm guessing we're about to get to the Hellsmiths of Hashut very, very shortly. Cameron, thank you very much for being a member for 26 months. Been a while. Just got back from a road trip up to the Isle of Skye and now want to paint Necrons out of nowhere. I don't know why. Oh, that's these things can kind of hit you occasionally. You get the occasional surge to want to do something. It's okay. Just go with it. You know, just hang it. Just enjoy it. Speaking of Cameron being a member for 26 months, if you would also like to consider becoming a member, that would be really, really, really kind and generous of you. It's a good way to support the channel, and it gets you access to the community Discord, where you can come and chat with all like-minded war hipsters out there. But if you're already a member and you wish to give this gift of membership to another person, you can do so by using the gift memberships buttons down there somewhere, which also is a very, very nice way to support the channel, because I would really, really very much appreciate that. And that's something that I have to tell you to do as a YouTuber. I have to be better at doing that, you know, because you've got to, you know, just got to get good at YouTube, you know, got to be good at this sort of thing. But there we go. There's some more of these boxes coming. So Zandire's True Seekers, the Shadeborn, Starblood Stalkers, and Elathane's Soul Raid all appearing in the same box together. That is Seekers in Shadow. That's the crab, the dangerous crab that everybody loves so very much. We have Skittershank's Claw Pack, the Gnarl Spirit Pack, Thricefold Discord, and the Worm Spat together. I've never seen the Worm Spat before. They're gorgeous. Lovely. Thorns of the Briar Queen, Sons of Velmorn, Exiled Dead, and the Skinnerkin. We actually have tutorials for the Skinnerkin and the Sons of Velmorn here on the channel, which you can check out. Molog's Mob as well. Zarbag's Gits, Hrothgorn's Man Trappers, and Ripper's Snarlfangs all coming in boxes together. They're very cool boxes. There's a couple I need to buy. Whoa! Hello, Cameron, with the 20 gifted Warhipster memberships. Hype in the chat. That's incredibly generous of you. Thank you so very much. I can see some more green talking above there. Let me go and let's have a quick look at that, shall we? So Strawberry Fish. AOS/Imperialis was nice, but MESBG reveals when, GW? That is a great question. That is a question we have been asking for many, many moons now. There needs to be more. 18 months, best painting community. Dan, you're very, very kind. I very much appreciate that. I try to be. I try to be. The shade what? Huh? Did I say something silly? The shade... Is it this? Spitewood? Gotta get the ball rolling. You do! Hopefully the ball is now rolling, Cameron. Thanks to your generosity. I very, very much appreciated it. Thank you very much. Is Warcry officially dead now? Well, it kind of feels that way, doesn't it? But I suspect that there is a new edition of it coming. They just don't know when to launch it. I hope there is a new edition coming of it. Right, let's have a look, shall we? The Hellsmiths of Hashut. MESBG will be revealed when Warhipster stops withholding them. I have never withheld anything. I don't know why I would do that, because I want to see these things. And I don't care for this filthy rumour that I'm somehow punishing everybody for... That I don't want to see MESBG. I want to see MESBG. I want more MESBG. MESBG is life. Don't know if it's been asked yet, but will you be doing any Horus Heresy painting, as I'm finally taking the dive with New Edition? Well, the good news is, Republic Rising, we already have done all of Horus Heresy. If you want to go and check it out, there is a playlist on the channel. Warhipster paints Horus Heresy. We've done all Allegiance. They're all done. And the colour scheme doesn't change. So the answer is, how would you paint Night Lord? It's done it on a Mark 6. You do it on a Mark 2, 3, 4, 5. Do it on a Dreadnought, you do it on all of this. It's all there. We did it 3 years ago when the last edition came out. And I wasn't going to do it again because they didn't send it to me. I don't have the box. We've done one. We've done the... they did send me the Arachne Quad autocannon platform. So I painted that up as an Imperial Fist, but that is the only thing from Saturnine that we will be doing. But there's tons of Horus Heresy content here on the channel, so you'll be able to see that here already. Warhipster has the new plastic everything on his desk. He's just holding them for himself. No, it's just not true. It's just a vicious lie. I don't want to have all the things by myself. I don't want to have thousands of boxes of a new thing that I have no idea about because I don't own them. Why would I do that? I want everybody to have that. They said the Chaos Dwarfs are getting Warcry rules. I don't think Warcry is gone. I just think they don't know what to do or where to go with it next, you know? Anyway, Hellsmiths of Hashut. Here they are. We have the new Chaos Dwarfs. There they are. I like them. I like them a lot. I think they're cool. I like the angularness of them. It's going to make edge highlighting them really easy. They're certainly interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what they look like scale-wise, because I haven't seen them. I don't know if they did that on the stream, because I wasn't watching. But it seems to me like there's a lot of it coming for them. I'm going to be interested to see how the rules go for them. If Games Workshop sends them to me, I, of course, will paint them. If they don't, I will buy the army box, for sure, if I can get one. I think these are nice. I don't think there's anything I don't like. I mean, I love this thing. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I like the one with the guns more than I like the one with the two maces. But yeah, I like him a lot. I don't really know what to say other than just I think they look cool. He's cool. They're cool. That's nice. They're very nice. You know, it's all interesting. It's slightly different techniques on show here for different kind of like skin tones and things. It's like a sort of greyish faded colour, which we're going to be interesting to figure out how to do that. Or we've got this kind of very pale stone-like colour here on this guy as well, which is very cool. The Hobgrots are interesting. It does mean that if you want to kind of have a little bit, you want to have a Hobgrot army, I do like that there's now another Hobgrot kit, which you could use to kind of sort of make a true horde with your Hobgrot slitters, which is, you know, an interesting thing that we're seeing Hobgrots now appear in Chaos as well. It's a bit of cross-pollination. That's absolutely fine. It's nice. I can't remember what was in the main box, actually. It doesn't look like there's... It's going to be Chaos Dwarfs and 40 of them. No, it's not. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One Hobgrot, one character, one big thing, one cannon. So 10... 11, 12, 13, 14 models. That's right. Depending on how they're pointed, it might be a decent start to an army. We'll have to see. And then there's this guy, who's very interesting. I like it. I do like it. I'm not sure I'm a fan of this kind of volumetric that's going on all over it, because I think it looks a little bit... This is the paint job, right? Because I think it makes it look... It looks more complicated to paint than it is. But it's mostly metallics, and I think we can do a really cool job on it. We'll do a bit of the kind of blending that's going on there, I'm sure, because we did some of that on the Deathbringer with the shield. We've got a nice kind of Carabao Crimson thing going on the shield. You should check that video out. It's I was really pleased with how that model came out. But I think it's actually... For what is a massive, presumably massive centerpiece model, it's actually quite a simple one, which is cool. I like that. And then there's this version of it as well, which is the sort of greener one. I'm a less fan of how that's been painted. But this is a dual kit, and that's the named one, so that's the one we'll paint. So there you go. If they send it to me, you never know, they might not. There we go. Is that everything? No, it's not everything. Of course it's not. I forgot. There's more, isn't there? There's these. The Flesh Eater Courts. I really like High Falconer Felgrin. I'm a big fan of his little hat. The hat's very, very fun. I like this. So there you go. I like this. I like this model. I mean, we're big fans of Flesh Eater Courts around here. Be interested to see what he does. The new Spearhead looks interesting. The Gore Warden appears in this, and then we have some Crypt Horrors Flayers, and we have the Beast Flayers as well here. It's an interesting one. I have all of the components to do this, so maybe a Project Spearhead will be on the way. We'll do some Royal Beast Flayers and some Flayers as well, just to kind of get that one finished. So that would be cool to do. And then we have the Nighthaunt guy. We have Lord Vitriolic, who looks wet. That's what I keep saying. The potion's interesting. I like the model, I will say. I think it's fun. 4 arms is better than 2, after all. The potion is strange, because I initially thought it was like a big bug when I first saw it, and then realised it's smoke from pouring out a potion, right? But it's okay. We have the Cursed Shackle Horde here, which I think Alice actually has all of those things. So she has yet another Spearhead. So she's already on 2, which is good. Batwing instead of feather is amazing. Yeah, so I like that. As a falconer, he thinks he's a falconer, but he's actually got wings. He's actually got bats, which I like. Or Morbeg children. This looks like a very, very like an early Morbeg, you know, or a baby Terrorgeist of some kind. That's not completely dead. I love that the delusion extends to the creatures, and the creatures pay into the delusion, so that it speaks to me that the delusion for the Flesh Eater Court's curse extends to animals as well. So not only does High Falconer Felgrin believe he's a High Falconer, but those bats also believe they are falcons. You see what I mean? The shared delusion of the curse of Usharan. I think that's very, very cool. That's why I like it a lot. If the bats believe that they are also falcons, you see. But there we go. There we go. And then we have some Tomb Kings, some plastic Tomb Kings. We have some Royal Heralds. They're nice. Some Lich Priests. And we have another Arcane Journal, War of Septra's Fury. And Dawn of the Storm Dragon, which I'm guessing is when Miao Ying will drop whenever this book comes out. For Dawn of the Storm Dragon is when I would guess is when the rest of the Cathay stuff will drop. Probably include the individual boxes for the Jade Warriors, Jade Knights, and the Grand Cathay Cannons as well. Was when I would expect to see this. It might be that this book and this book drop at the same time, and you get all of this plastic stuff for the Tomb Kings, and then all of the kind of individual bits for the Cathay as well as Miao Ying, which would be cool. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that model at some point. And then, last but not least, I believe we have the Leagues of Votann. Here they are. So, obviously I've seen this picture the most, because 40k in it. I love this one. Bury. I think it's amazing. I love the glaive. Love the weapon. Of course I do. Was always going to. I'm a very big fan of this model. I think it's lovely. The Arcanist Evaluator is. I like that he's got this sort of Dr. Eggman. That kind of vibe. I very much appreciate that on him from Sonic. We have the Memnir Strategist, which I like the model because I think it's like I like it. I do enjoy that. I enjoy this one. I like the I just like it. The Ironkin Steeljacks. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of how imposing they are. I love the big guns. I think they're just ultra sci-fi. I don't know how well they fit into 40k, but they definitely have. They Leagues of Votann have got such a different vibe to the rest of 40k. I do think at times. I feel like these are fantastic models, and I think they look amazing. Like I said, I love the big guns. They feel very, I guess they kind of feel a little bit Judge Dredd to me, or something kind of that ilk, you know. But I like them. I like them a lot. I prefer them with the big guns than I do the big fist and the pistol, because I like it. It's cool. And then I think these are interesting. The 30 Earth Shakers. You know, I'm guessing it's a reverse mortar. Yeah, mole mortar. And then this again. I think this, the Capricus, having seen that a bunch of times all over the place, to me it gives off, like I said, a sort of Judge Dredd or Blade Runner vibe. Just, you know, corporate fast attack, basically. And I like it. It's nice. And then there's a cool codex. And there's the Combat Patrol, which looks to be all the stuff you can already get. So there you go. And that is all the reveals done in 20 minutes or less. Overall, I think it was a really strong set of reveals. I really do. I think it's a bit of shame. I think to reveal the entire Hachette range on the 10th anniversary of Age of Sigmar, fantastic. Wait, are the Votank corporate? Nah. No, they're independent. You know, they're small businesses. Nothing corporate about them. Yeah, like I said, I think it was a really strong set of reveals. It does, like you were saying earlier, it does sadden me a little bit that on the 10th anniversary of Age of Sigmar, so much of this is 40k. To be celebrating 40k. And I think for Age of Sigmar to get the Hellsmiths of Hachette is great, but then for it to be one character each for the Flesh Eater Courts and Nighthaunt, there's no hint of there being like a Warhammer quest or anything like that. That would have been awesome to release for the 10-year anniversary, just a sort of not follow up to Cursed City, but a new one for Warhammer Quest. That would have been fantastic to see. But the Kill Team set's nice. I think generally on the whole, it's just a great set of previews, really. And unfortunately, MESBG is the only one that missed out, and it doesn't deserve to have missed out. I think it would have been really cool to have seen MESBG here as well. See if there's anything else coming for that in the not too distant future. But yeah. Still awful lighting and low resolution for showing models off on a desk. It is a slightly strange thing that they do that. I don't know why they wouldn't put it on their little spinning podium they have when they do painting stuff, you know. Was hoping for some resculpts of older FEC models. Yeah, I agree. I think Flesh Eater Courts it would be nice to see Crypt Flayers and Crypt Horrors get redone. I knew that they wouldn't be because the Vargeists are still in the Soulblight Gravelords book. And I think if the Crypt Flayers were going to go or get something new, then it would have happened when Soulblight happened. Because I suspect that Flesh Eater Courts either have lost the Terrorgeist and will get the Revenant Draconith. But it would have been nice to see some of that older stuff get an update. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Flesh Eater Courts around here. You know me. I can only think they do that so they stop 3D models screen grabbing and resculpting proxies and selling them. That's exactly why they do that kind of thing, Dan. MESBG has Siege Troll and Leaf, so yeah, we are doing great. There's also, in the Armies of Middle-earth book, there is a picture of a new Theodred in there. that they haven't shown off yet, but he is in there. At least I'm convinced it's a new Theodred. It looks like a new Theodred to me. But what did you guys think of the... What are you most excited for from the new reveals? That's the thing that's important. It doesn't really matter about me. I'll paint stuff when it comes my way, if it comes my way. Can always guarantee that. Chaos Dwarves. Not talking profiles, I was just referencing already announced stuff that's been revealed that still hasn't been released. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I'm not going to be buying any of it. Fair enough. But now also Votan, because I didn't know they were corporate. Yeah, as far as I understand it, the way it works is that all of the kind of chapters, for lack of a better word, are basically corporations. So like the Urani Serta Regulates, for example, or the Ymir Conglomerate. It's basically just like, it's like Blade Runner style, like the corporations that are essentially the clans, basically. I can't remember what there is a term. I haven't looked at that book for a long time. But yeah, that's why they're all kind of plastered in logos and stuff. It's basically corporate representation for the way that they operate, based on a Votan that they found. I think is my understanding of it. I could be completely wrong. Leagues of Votan players out there might be like, "Hold on, Mr. the Josh." If the Centaurs are actually Sylv and Eth, I'll buy those. There you go. 69 likes. Nice. That's what we'd like to see. Can we get 69 members? We're 49 away from that. That's a long way to go. Still waiting for new normal skeletons for Tomb Kings. Can't be bothered with the insanely old ones. Their fists are as big as their head. Shake my head. I know what you mean, Ishmael. Yeah. Building those older skeletons is hard work, but be careful what you wish for. See with the Jade Warriors, for example, they are many, many components. The new ones, if they do new skeleton warriors for the Tomb Kings, you might have to glue in every single rib. It wouldn't surprise me. In order to build these, we take the foot and then we put in both the leg bones up to the knee. Then we add the rest of the leg. Then we glue in the groin area. Then you add the spine. Then you glue in each and every single rib. Then the neck. Then the head. But the arms are in one piece. Just do easy build skeletons. Yeah, those would be ideal, wouldn't they? 206 components each model. Yeah, exactly. This is what people want. They want to treat every single one of their infantrymen as an Airfix modeling kit. 9,000 components. That's what people like, right? No! My name's Josh and I want it to be 3 components at best. I am a use case. Almost as many as a Saturnine Terminator. 51, I think. 51 components. Per Terminator. So it's over 300 to build all 6. Oh, that's not for me. MESBG players complained about warrior sculpts for years, then complained when we got Rohan warriors where the face was in 2 parts. I feel like there's a middle ground on that, you know? Like, so yes, I agree with both sides, yes. I don't complain, but it would be nice to see new warrior sculpts for everything in MESBG. Like, same for like new knights and stuff, new Riders of Rohan. That would be lovely to see. I do think that they can probably do it without having the faces be in two pieces. You know? I think there's probably a universe where the head is fully sculpted. But that's just me. Anyone who complained about those has never built a B1 battle droid who also have 2 parts for their faces. Oh, didn't know that about the B1 battle droids. There you go. 1 to avoid for the Josh. Hello, Steve. So there's a universe now, chat, where I'm going to ask you. We are 25 likes away from 100 likes on the stream. Can we get to 100 likes on the stream? That doesn't happen very often whilst we're live, so it would be incredible if it happened now. That would make me this would make this one of the most popular streams of all times. As we're going live. I'm just saying. Do you want to set a record today? We'd have to get a lot more to set a record, but we could make it into the top 10. That's for sure. There we go. With all the new stuff you're working on, how's Fellowship? Well, it's like I said earlier, I haven't done anything because I haven't been here. It's this week. This week I'm going to try and do a little bit more on it. As much as I would love to deconstruct my entire studio and take it with me to a student accommodation over the weekend to be able to work all night in between the tournament, I chose not to do that because I think it would have made me very sad. So yeah, we will get some more work done on it this week once I've got the Votan out of the way. Not Votan. These are Caradron Overlords. We've been talking about Votan too much. Once we've got the Caradron out of the way. Now theoretically he shouldn't take too long to do because he is gold, silver, there's a little bit of brass to do, and then it's a case of shade it all and then buff up the gold a little bit in 2 different ways. It's basically a case of buff up the gold with the Retributor armor, and then on the rounded parts buff up the gold with some Liberator gold, then highlight the whole thing with like Stormhost silver or that kind of thing. So it's close. It's like, it doesn't look like it's very close to being done, but it's definitely kind of approaching the halfway point. So realistically, this shouldn't take very long to do. I do have the this thing as well. The Endrin dock as well. So once that's all out of the way, we can then return to doing a bit of the fellowship, which would be exciting. Should be very, very cool. And I will try my darndest to get the Von Grimm Harpoon Crew video out tomorrow. Because they are done. They are done. They're, yeah, I just need to edit the video. I managed to get them done last week. So we have the 3 little... whatever they're called. Apparently these have... They have, there's a reason there's 3 of them. They all do something slightly different. The Flying Portable Loo. Yes, everyone's getting one. Caradron next. Indeed, Caradron. I've ordered my kids to like the stream in search of the 100. Well, we're 13 away. How did you paint them? With paint. I haven't done them. Is Grace here? I'm thinking of maybe adding the new Army of Renown with Drekkie Flint to my Stormcast. Can't be bothered with a whole army with flying dwarfs, but maybe a ship and crew. That would be cool. I do have it. Funnily enough, I do have videos on how to do all of that. So that would be that to do exactly as that as well. The Ailsling. What I wouldn't give for a flying loo. I'm the same. Those are some big snitch minis. Yeah, try catching that when you're riding a broom. I think it would also be quite angry with you. Some of these are quite spicy, as I understand it. But I don't know exactly what they do. When we seeing the glorious Cathay balloon, I haven't got to it yet, Cameron. It's primed and waiting. So the answer is I don't know. When I have time, which I don't have at the moment. Bludger and Snitch all in one. Yeah, it's if the Snitch fought back. We're 6 likes away from 100, chat. There's 102 people watching. Could be done. We're also 30 members away from our goal of 50. So that is a mere 35 things to happen, to hit goals all over the place. What an incredible way to kick off a Monday, to kick off a week. That balloon is huge. Yeah, it's enormous. The thing itself is almost as big as my head. And I have a very large head. I could be a Cathayan Sky Lantern. Except I don't get off the ground very well. Should I do a little bit more gold on this? I did actually miss a bit with the bone. Maybe I'll just do that very quickly whilst we're talking. You're hot enough to be molten rock underneath. Well, it's more externally hot because of the environment that I'm in. where it's very warm. I bet you paint gold on Glorfy Boy. That's a terrible way to start that video. Start with the gold and then go back and do the horse. Are you insane? There you go. Did it. 101 likes. Well done, chat. That makes this a top 10 stream. How did you paint the Caradron Harpoon crew? Box art. Yes. That's exactly what I did. I have no more children and the cats can't access YouTube. The cats could access YouTube. Just not in a very competent way. Maybe I'll do a little bit more gold. Do I want to do a little bit more gold? It is 10 past 7. We are nearing the end. We are nearly there. There's about 21 minutes left. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have anything pressing you want to talk about, you've got 21 minutes to do so. Because I can't predict what the weather will do. I don't know if we'll be live on Wednesday or not. The weather might be horrible again. Let's see what the weather forecast is saying. 21. Raining all day. It's a pretty decent chance of a stream on Wednesday. But that could change. Could be subject to change. You never know. Have to see. Do you have a next tournament planned? No, I don't. Actually, tell a lie. I do have something in September, which is a doubles 40k. When are you going to start highlighting these MESBG horses for me so I don't have to keep stressing about them? There's many things that I will do to help you on your painting journey. But what I won't do is let you ship me things to do the highlights on the horses so I can ship them back. That's not the kind of service we provide around here, I'm afraid. You don't have to do the highlights on the horses. You don't have to. You could just skip them entirely. I was a bit late. How did the tournament go? Tournament went really well, thank you. I think I was saying earlier, it was the best. It's the best competitive tournament I've been to, and it's also the one I performed the worst at in terms of my results. Who'd have thought? But it was nice. It was really good. It was the most competitive tournament I've ever been to, in that every game was competitive. So I thoroughly recommend going to competitive Age of Sigmar. Yes, I do. I already did Saruman, Hammer, and Targ. You've done it 3 times. What are you worried about? There you go. You've done it 3 times, then you already know how to highlight a horse. Did you see the guy who got kicked out of a US Team GT at the weekend for having dice with 2 6s on? No, but I was... when we were having dinner on, I want to say Saturday night, that came up. And I was like, oh, that's a thing, is it? People taking it that so seriously that you do have to cheat to win. Interesting. It's a non-subtle way of doing it, isn't it? Surely, having dice with 2 6s on as a cheat only works if your dice always rolls a 6. Either of the 6s. Because presumably, the two 6s have to be opposite each other. So if you roll anything that isn't a 6, and somebody just looks, you'll see 6 and 6. Surely. On the subject of highlighting horses, you can always reverse highlight horses if you wish to, by adding more shades to the deeper recesses, and that way you don't have to highlight, but what you do is you get darker folds in the muscles. So if, for example, you've got a brown horse that's painted with gore grunter fur, if in the deepest recesses you then go in and use Cygor brown instead, just in the recesses, you are reverse engineering a highlight that's much wider and it's therefore a subtle transition. And it might be a little bit easier. That's one way of doing it. He said it was an accident and paid the entry and travel for all 7 of his teammates. Accident. Why not have all sides be 6s? Might as well go the whole hog. Well, that's how I would. That's how I'd do it. Even if a non-6 side came up, you would never be able to see both 6s at once. You would if you moved. Unless the person in question rolls the dice and then immediately picks it up and always holds it. But like, if you roll the dice and you just leave it on the table, make all sides have 7 dots. That would also do it. Oh, look, I rolled a 7. Favorite is toilet dice. Toilet dice is always good. I think only some of his dice were dodgy, but they all look the same apart from that. So that usually is an indication that you have you've bought something like a set of magician's dice, for example, and you have dice that are normal, and you have the other dice that isn't normal, and you use the non-magic dice to demonstrate and let the audience see that it is a real dice, and then you roll the dodgy magic dice in order to get a higher probability of getting the thing that you want. Is what I would suspect is what's happened there. But this conversation came up at the weekend, and my question to all of you is: do you, when you go, like, because so there's a lot of, I think when you go and play a game of Warhammer, because so many people are suspicious now, because there have been quite a few numbers of high-profile loaded dice cheating. There are some habits that people have where they just, they like to do things a certain way, right? So, because of the way we are, we all have lots and lots and lots of dice. And, excuse me. And I was saying this at the weekend, is that I have a bag of basically 4 generations of Stormcast dice. And one set of them are square. They're all square around the outside. And one of them have got the sort of beveled edges. They're rounder dice, as it were, because of the way that they've changed the way that they design the dice. And then there's one set that is also square, but it was a limited... When you went to Warhammer World, they used to have those big tubs of dice that you can go and buy some stuff from. They are square as well, I think, or they're rounded. Anyway, one of the two. And depending on... It's the same thing for my Blood Angels, actually, because for my Blood Angels dice, I have the ones that came with the red, gold, and the black in them for all 3 colours of the Blood Angels, and they are square. But then I also have the black Blood Angels dice that came out. They're black with red pips and so on and so forth. Anyway, my point is, when I take them all to tournaments, I take them because sometimes, whatever it is, the way that you're feeling about the dice, sometimes the square ones seem to do better, and other times the rounded ones seem to do better. So I take the whole bag of dice and I play a game where I just use whichever one comes out, and I just sort of look at it until I go about halfway through and I'm like, you know what, those square ones didn't seem to be working today. I'm just going to stick to the rounded ones, or vice versa. Or those round ones didn't seem to be doing the business for me today. I'm going to use the square ones. And I know that there's a lot of people out there, like, for example, will have sets of dice where everything's a different colour, and they like to roll some for the hits, and one colour, they roll the red ones for the hit rolls, the green ones for the wound rolls, and the blue ones for the save rolls and stuff like this. So, my question to you is, do you guys have any dice habits that you have? Like, do you have a particular set of dice that you like to use to, I don't know, roll priority or stuff like this? Is that a thing? Do you guys do that? Get all the bad rolls out before you go. It's good practice. Get those reps in. Practice your rolls. Yeah. I find, I don't know, again, I don't know, there's really only one way to roll a dice, right? But do you ever feel like there's ways that you're rolling dice that is uncomfortable, and therefore you feel like you're doing worse with them? Because I have that sometimes. Like, I like to roll my dice right in front of me, but sometimes what's right in front of you is all of the models, so you end up leaning your hand out and then rolling them like rolling them onto like mid table, or throwing them into a tray or whatever, this, that, and the other. I like to roll it like sort of right in front of me. So if I, you know, if somebody really wanted me to do, what I would do is I would go and sit on the end of the table where, you know, in like the plain area, so I could just do it. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, the things that we have with particular dice. My wife puts them away with 6 upwards to train them. Always be 6 up. I like it. I like it. Whenever my wife and I play board games and she kind of just drops the dice, I swear she is statistically bad at rolling. Way too many 1s or 2s. Dice rolls should cover some ground. So there was I don't know if you guys remember them. Some of you probably have them. There was a set of Death Guard dice that came out with 8th edition. Do you remember those? So those were really light plastic and they were filled with yellow foam. Or it looked like foam. Do you remember those ones? The ones that had no numbers. Yeah, no, they were just like various blobs of like yellow foam. Those dice were so light that they just didn't roll. And especially back then when they came out, I don't think, like, well, obviously a lot of people were using the neoprene mats anyway, but in Games Workshop, which is when I had them for a bit, they were still on those Realm of Battle plastic tiles. So you threw the dice and it would just hit the thing and it would just skid for miles because there's no friction on it whatsoever. So those were terrible dice to roll because they didn't roll. They just landed on the number they were going to be and then just went and kept going. Those are examples of some very bad dice. Very pretty dice, but very, very, very bad dice. Those dice don't roll. I had a set of wooden ones. The Sylvaneth ones. Do you guys remember those? The old Sylvaneth ones that were made of wood and they had blue etchings on them? Those are terrible. Because again, they're just so light. They don't have any of the They don't catch on anything. So again, when you roll it, it just goes brr, and it just lands on the number it's going to be on. And it doesn't go anywhere. You want something with a bit heft to it, so that it does. It uses its forward momentum to roll over onto another side. Those were the days, eh? I also enjoyed when in 8th edition the Eldar dice came out, the tiny ones that were illegible to everyone. Like the Banshee dice, they were awful. The Striking Scorpion ones were hard work as well, because they were green with green. Which wasn't great. It's non-ideal. I need to go to the doctor's, chat. I really need to go and get my knee sorted or looked at. Remind me. Well, I'll remind myself. I'm going to set a note to phone the doctor tomorrow. I'll make sure to do it. Oh, well. There we go. Anyway, long story short, ladies and gentlemen, AOS Golden Ticket Grand Tournament event. Best event ever. Really enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyable. Recommend going. If there is another, well, there will be another one next year. I don't think there'll be another one now because the event is in November. It's not far away now, but I will 100% go to the next one if I can. If I have the time to go, I will 100% be going to the next one because I had that much fun at it, and I will be putting together a much more competitive list, I'm sure. Got to get some Vanguard Paladors painted up. I just think they would have done a little bit more work for me. Better than the Vanguard, not the Stormstrike Paladors did anyway, which would have been a better thing to do. But it is what it is, you know. There we go. Anyway, I thoroughly recommend one in March and one in July. Yeah, maybe we'll go try and get to the March one and bring something hideous and disgusting. What happened to your knees? I don't know. It's just one knee. It's my right knee. There's a big problem with it. It's very painful to sit here without having it stretched out. It just gets really, really sore. So there's a big problem. So I wore a knee brace all weekend, which did help. I've got it on now, which has helped. But I do need to go and do some stretching. Try and sort it out a little bit. So yeah, need to go to doctor and try and figure out what the hell's wrong with it, because it's very uncomfortable at the moment, and it's been going on for a couple of weeks. I think the heat's activated something, but we shall see. We shall see what happens. Anyway, this week, what can you expect to see? Well, this week you can expect to see, hopefully, 3 Caradron Overlords painting videos. We have the Null Chemist. We will try and get the Zontari Endrin dock done. And there will be the Von Grimm Harpoon crew as well. So, if you are a fan of dwarves flying through the sky on ether gold machines, then this is not the one for you, because none of them are flying. They've all got jump packs. But if you're a big fan of the Caradron Overlords, then this week is going to be good for you, because we've got 3 whole Caradron Overlords videos coming your way. Looking spicy already. So that's on the way. Hopefully we'll be live on Wednesday. I will be talking to Discord later this evening about how we're going to get Tales back up to date. So I'll let you know what the options are once I've had a little bit more cerebral thinking time about it. But hopefully we go live on Wednesday, dependent on the weather. Again, if it's too hot, I shan't, because I have decided it's better for me to look after myself a little bit more these days, you know, because I don't do enough of that. You know, very occasionally I do the healthy thing and look after myself. Don't do it very often, but in this instance I should. You see what I mean? So there you go. But we will be, yeah, that's this week's content. And if I don't speak to you on Wednesday, then I will speak to you on Monday, I'm sure. Again, weather permitting. We'll have to find out together. So unless anybody has any more for any more, we will be heading off now. Well, very, very shortly. There's about 2 minutes left. I'm getting the farewell in early, you see. Doing all of that good stuff. Self-care is important. I agree, Woodrow McWood. Hello, Iffy. I am doing well. Hope you're doing well. I chose the wrong time to come join. You're a little bit late, yes. But it's okay, because we'll be live again at some point. Maybe on Wednesday. Hopefully on Wednesday. Hopefully on Monday. But there you have it. There's one more thing I needed to just quickly go and check, because I saw it the other day. Nope. It is not the case now. So there we have it. Josh Care for the win. Damn, I'll leave my painting question until then. Well, if it's a quick one, you can ask it now. There's still a minute left. Go, 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 go. Quickly ask, and I'll try and answer. And I'll try and answer in a non-facetious way. Byzant Janissar's scheme in Horus Heresy. How do the... Oh, that's not a quick question, is it? Byzant Janissar... I have no idea what that is. It's red and blue. Oh, no. Solar Auxilia. Solar Auxilia? Is that what you're after? If it's the Solar Auxilia you're after, I would say use Wildwood for the clothes and check out my Chinchar video on how to do the armor. Because based on this one picture I've seen, it looks to be the same colour. It's like ivory, isn't it? It's like an off-white. Chinchar for the white scars. Master of the Keshig. That's the video I want to look at for doing the armor. There you go. So, that's it. 31 minutes. You've got an extra minute out of me. I will see you all very soon in the next one. I hope you have a good week if I don't speak to you now. If I don't speak to you soon. And if not, I will see you next week, if indeed you want to see if I don't see you on Wednesday. Here is the hand of farewell, and I shall wave it at you. Love you, chat. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now. Love you, bye. Bye.